Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is it really true? Is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show. Everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass. Because over 33 years ago, guys, I was a dumbass. But today, 33 years later, through the grace of God, I can honestly say now I'm a smartass. And yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey, and that's what I was. I'm saying all that to say this, a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people lost their lives to addiction, all kinds of addiction, family members suffering. And I want everyone out there to know someone is listening. I'm a nutritional health coach. I'm also a recovery coach. All my services to you are free. Please, please know you are not alone and to reach out. If you think my book can help someone, because I do, you can go right to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing, BAM, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and you can go to my website, www.geripetito.com. Guys, if you truly, truly, truly cannot afford my book, please reach out to me about that as well. I want to give a shout out to a few of my sponsors before I introduce my incredible guest. Stormin Norman Selden, 732-245-4777, www.stormandnormanselden.com. Booking dozens of attractions for concerts and performances on venues of all sizes. Guys, he's got a 5 to 12-piece band as needed. Incredible. He's an incredible pianist, keyboard player. I mean, he's off the charts. He's a legend. And for a lot of you that don't know this, he helped get started Larry Chance from Larry Chance and the Earls. Remember, remember, remember. Everyone remembers that song, right? So shout out to Stormin for that, and rest in peace, my friend Larry Chance. Ken Ryan and Linda Garofalo, The Way It Used to Be, singing songs from the 50s to the 80s, a tribute show to the greatest music and voices of all time. And he also does Elvis for me, guys. And I want to give a really good shout out to the two of them because they do a lot of fundraisers and they are beautiful people inside and out. Then we've got John Monforto, the man of many faces, singer, actor, celebrity impersonator, and tribute artist. Listen, I gave him the title, the man of many faces. He does over 30, incredibly. But he was given the official title by a former Philadelphia mayor as the official Philadelphia Rocky impersonator. That's right, he is Rocky, trust me. His three that I love the most being the Italian I am, of course Rocky, the Godfather, and of course his Elvis baby. So www.johnmonforto.com. Then we've got John Bishop, a.k.a. Johnny B., singer, songwriter, host of the Entertainment Luncheon South, a non-profit created for the creative. His Facebook page, Entertainment Luncheon South. Partner in the Joey D. and Johnny B. Rockin' Oldies Band. His Facebook group page, Joey D., Johnny B. Rockin' Oldies Band. Let me just say this. Him and his wife, Linny, do something once a month for all entertainers. It's by invite only. They give a luncheon. You get food and entertainment by these legends for $20. And let me tell you something. They don't keep a penny of it, okay? What they do is off the charts, and I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. And people fly in to be at this luncheon, guys. So, now, I would like to introduce this really cool guest. I mean, look at him, right? You could tell he's a cool cat, okay? I mean, Jamie King Colton, say hello.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
So, I am loving your hair because I owned beauty salons back in the 80s and 90s, and I was one of the first to have pink and purple hair. And I see a little bit of purple in your hair, baby.
Yeah, I love it. In
Okay.
fact, I tried to dye my goatee purple. It didn't quite come out right, but
All right, but that's cool. You are a cool dude, okay? So, listen, Jamie. First of all, tell everyone about the King Colton. Is that like a birth name or Colton or?
that's my legal name. That's it. That's my legal name. It's yeah, yeah. I come from an interesting background. My mother was a gypsy violinist, and so was her father, from Transylvania. So I'm Transylvanian gypsy.
Wait, stop right there. I did not know that, guy. So I'm like, wow. One of my best friends, he's like family, is a gypsy.
Really?
And one of the most honest men ever, because people always say, oh, gypsies aren't honest. Well, guess what? I was robbed, and I had a few people renting rooms from my house back in the day, and he passed that test, that lie detector test with flying colors, man. All right? So I just had to say that. But I love gypsies. I have a lot of friends. And Transylvania, for real?
Yeah, over the Carpathian Mountains. But that was some music's in my background. They were musicians, violinists. So, and my brother's an opera singer. So it's in the family.
This is so cool. All right, kid, we got to talk another time about all that. That's amazing. So, wow. All right. So let's get back to the professional part of this interview, okay? So
Okay.
tell everyone, other than what you just shared, a little bit about your background and how it molded you and brought you to where you're at.
Well, it's absolutely kind of like I wake up and pinch myself and look in the mirror and say, did you really do that? Because it's a storybook life. I started music when I was 7. I started studying saxophone when I was 9. I studied that for 9 years. Went into high school, studied all the music courses. Then I got a scholarship to college. Started college out, and of course I aced everybody out. I was playing in the orchestras and everything, and played as a saxophonist. And I was in a percussion ensemble. I've also played. I played 35 instruments.
Right. Yay.
And I started doing that when each year from the time I started playing music, I had another instrument. So, and then played them in different bands so I could become proficient in each one. And my main thing was being a lead vocalist. So that's what I do mainly. So I did that. And then I became a music teacher. And straight out of, as I was teaching, I got a call from Detroit from a group that heard that I was a bassist, which I really wasn't. I was playing a little bit of bass, but not really strong. But at that point in time, there was not that many bass players. So they called me and asked me if I'd be interested in joining this group, signed to Motown, that had the number 9 record on the charts. It's called La 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 by Lynn Terry and LaSalle's. And I said, sure. I quit my job teaching. I had 80 students a week. I quit and went to Detroit. And from that point on, for 2 years, I toured all of North America, and we scored the number 1 record in the world, which was called Here Come the Judge. That was my record. That was me doing that voice. Here come the judge, here come the judge. Yeah.
Wait, that really was you?
That was me. And that was after we split from Motown. We started our own record label, and we put that one out by the Buena Vistas, and it became number 1 in every country in the world.
This is pretty cool. All right, continue.
All right, from that point, then, like I said, I was in college. I won 3 giant awards for jazz across the country: Philadelphia, Ohio State University, and Wichita. And was playing with an octet from Michigan, because I was living in Michigan, and we came in 4th in the country.
Okay.
Which was really incredible, playing against Loyola and all the top universities. And it just continues on. So after that, I decided to come to Florida because I'd met some people and they said, you got to be down here and we'd like to do an album on you. I sent them some demos and they said, man, and on demos, I play all the instruments. That's all my recordings. I've always done that. I play everything from drums, bass, guitar, keyboards, all the vocals, horn sections, background vocals, everything. And they loved what I did. So I came down here. We put together a deal with the brand new major studio. It was the #1 studio in South Florida, North Miami. We went in, we did put together an album, my originals. Actually, before we went in there, we did pre-production for 6 months, and I laid everything down on so that I knew where I was going to go with it. And then we went into that studio, negotiated a deal with them, spent 6 months in the studio. I hired Billy Joe's band to back me up, guys from Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Elvis's background singers. And,
Stop it, baby. Stop it. Do
Yep.
me a favor, Jamie. Move back a little bit because you're sounding a little too loud. All right, now talk.
Okay, any better?
Yes, perfect.
I got a big mouth, I can't help it.
That's okay. I'm Italian. We all yell. Go ahead.
Okay, so anyway, so we did this album, and it came out absolutely phenomenal. And with Billy Joe's drummer and his bass player, Libby DeVito and Doug Stegmeyer, and then I had Bobby Economo from Blood, Sweat, and Tears on drums too. Like I said, Elvis's singers, they worked with him and Neil Diamond, got them out of Nashville, Roach, Chalmers, and Rhodes. Plus, I hired some other great players like Dave Beatty from Toronto and Rick Baker from Mark Farner Band. And Clay Cropper, who was a great studio player in Miami. So that album, unfortunately, it didn't get to where we wanted. My management wanted $1 million, and they only want to give us $500,000, so we wound up not pushing the deal. So that was okay. And then I went on, I joined a band that was signed to CBS. I'm giving you my whole life story.
I love this. I love this. No. Talk.
It's pretty complicated, but I joined this group called Mark and Clark. Mark and Clark were identical twins that played giant grand pianos. They were the original, where they had the two pianos face to face, but these guys were twins. Now I'd seen them on every TV show on TV, from Mike Douglas to Joey Bishop to all the old shows. They were on every single one of them, and they asked me to join their band. And like 3 days before I joined them, they were on PM Magazine, and they were signed to CBS. Like I said, they put out an album that was incredible, classical rock, which was phenomenal. They were just great classical pianists, but they could play rock and roll, so they combined the two. And I wound up spending almost 4 years with them, and we had won the biggest award. And I live in South Florida, like Fort Lauderdale, and we won the biggest award you can win here. They're called the Carbonell Awards. We were the only group in South Florida to win these two awards. One was the best nightclub act, and second was Entertainer of the Year, which is the #1 award you can win. And that was with Burt Reynolds, and Jose Ferrer was there, and Zev Buffman, all the top honchos. And that was incredible. And then we toured. I toured with them. I went on the road, and we were the house band at the Buena Vista Palace in Disney World for 6 months, which was phenomenal. It was an $85 million hotel, and we were the showcase of the whole place. And we did the East Coast and everything. And then I decided I was going to leave the band, and I came back to Florida. And I was playing I had a trio, and I was playing up in a place called Deerfield Beach, in an incredibly busy restaurant, and a kind of a jazz trio. I was playing grand piano. And all of a sudden, my bass player says, "Hey, I'm just got back from Europe," and we toured Europe with. He said, "I'm playing with Dion."
Come on.
He goes, "Dion DiMucci," and I'm like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, I can't." He said, "We just did a sold out tour. He's got a brand new album out it's already sold 300,000 copies, called Yo Frankie, and he's not happy with the guy who plays keyboards and sax. And would you be interested in trying out?" And I said, "I don't know." I was kind of doing okay, man. In Florida, I was doing really well. And I said, finally, after a few months, I said, "Okay, when time comes, I'll try." So I went down there. I learned the songs. Took my tenor saxophone, went in with Dion. I played for him, and he looked at me and he goes, this was June 14th, 1990. He goes, "I think I'll adopt you." And that was it. Now, as I said, this is like a fairy tale.
So
3 weeks.
Wait. I gotta ask you a question. Don't forget, 1990. It's like a fairy tale. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Do you know a man named Walter Santos? Have you ever heard that name?
Heard the name, yeah.
He was married to Dion's sister.
Oh, okay, Sandra, yeah.
Santos, Walter. It was actually Dion who brought Walter to the Lord, because Walter was going to jail for a long time for drugs.
Oh, boy.
And the judge said to him, "You're not a criminal, you're an idiot. We need you back on that stage." And it was Dion who helped him get his act together. And the guy now praises God with all the old doo-wop songs. So it's the same music, and he sings to God. So he was married to his sister. But continue. 1990, it was like a fairy tale. Come on.
Yeah, 3 weeks later, after I joined him, after rehearsing with him, my first show with him. This is after playing at a restaurant. My first show with him, talk about culture shock, was at the Orange Bowl for 40,000 people. And we came out on a float in the middle of the Orange Bowl, and these people were going crazy. And I'll tell you what, man, talk about panic attack, anxiety, because I was playing the saxophone, and there was I could look down, and there was a guy driving this float, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm gonna fall off. They had like a back brace behind you, and it was pretty. I mean, this was like all at once, man. This all happened, stardom to the top. And then I toured with him for 5 years. We did some of the biggest concerts in the world. I got to play with everybody: Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard,
Yes.
Fats Domino, Three Dog Night. I played with everybody. Herman's Hermits. I mean, I could go down a list that I can't even remember all the people, man. I did 2 years with the Everly Brothers. We did a year with Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Frankie asked me to join his band, and I turned him down because I said I can't leave Dion. I mean, it was crazy, man. And then I did 5 years with him, and I even did Australia. We did all of Australia. I lived in Australia for about a month and a half, and that was phenomenal. It was such an experience. Then I came back, and I left the band for a while, and I wound up starring in a movie and doing the whole soundtrack for the movie. It's called The Spacey Brothers, and it took me 9 months to put the whole soundtrack together in my recording studio. I did the engineering of all the soundtracks and played all the instruments and did everything on it, and then submitted it to the director and the editors, and they put it into the film. And then I got a call from, believe it or not, the manager of Little Eva.
Come on.
Yeah, the Locomotion, and he asked me if I'd be interested in playing saxophone on tour with Little Eva, and so yes, I did. I became her musical director and her orchestra conductor and saxophonist.
Get out.
And she was my best friend, and I love her to death. I mean, she was one of the greatest people I ever met in my life, and I spent 3 years with her. Now, one of the highlights of that, besides getting to play the Locomotion every night, was that we went to the UK. We got on a tour bus, which belonged to the Rolling Stones, had used it previously. It was a double-decker tour bus. And we did this major tour. On the tour was Bobby V, Chris Montez.
Get out.
Brian Hyland.
Yep, I've interviewed both of them. Go ahead.
And Johnny Preston, Running Bear. And the V's, which are Bobby V's sons. They got a great band. And it was all of us on tour. We did the whole UK. We did England, Scotland, and Wales, and sold out 2 shows at the London Palladium, which was like one of the highest points you could ever play anywhere. And that was absolutely phenomenal. It was a 2.5-hour show, and we did 39 shows in 28 cities, and some of the shows we did were double shows. So that's 5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a very, very the toughest tour I ever did was that tour.
So, wait, I want to interrupt you one more time. I don't like interrupt, but I don't want to forget little silly things, little silly things. Yeah. So, I've interviewed Brian Hyland a few times, and the first time I interviewed him, I'm giggling the whole time and singing his song,
Yeah.
I just had to say that. Anyway, continue.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I feel like I'm hogging the mic, and
No. Please don't feel that way. This is what I love about these interviews the most. Come on.
Oh, the stories are insane.
Yes.
So anyways, I get back and from tour, and Little Eva was not doing well. She developed, I think it was cervical cancer.
Oh.
And so she eventually passed on, and that broke my heart because she was my girl.
Yeah.
We were very, very, very close, and she was incredible on stage. That's all I can say. She was, people don't know the story. She was Carole King's maid, and Carole wrote the song for her. and along with Jerry Goffin, and they loved her just like I did. And she got the hit. She also did another one called Turkey Trot that was big in Europe.
Okay.
And she did another one with Big D Irwin called "Would You Like to Swing on the Star." That's a great version. If you ever get a chance,
Okay, I will.
that's a phenomenal song.
Oh.
So after that, I came back to Florida, and Dion calls me.
Now, about when was this? Tell me, like.
This was about, let me see, I toured with her in '98. So this was about beginning of 2000.
Okay.
Right after that, I was, called me, and he called me and said, we're going to have lunch. So I said, okay. So I want to talk to you. So I met him for lunch, and he said, like you to go back on tour, come back with me. I'm putting together a new band. And so we negotiated that deal, and I went back on tour with him I was the only guy from the band that he asked to go back with him. And I did another 5 or 6 years with him, and it was another incredible run that it was, just amazing. I mean, all the time I played with him, I did Madison Square Garden twice with him. I did one time Richard Nader, a big promoter out of New York City, hired me. He said, I got 20 bands, and he said, I want you to play with saxophone with 12 of them. So that was one of the highlights of the shows. And the first show he did, I opened up with the first band, which was Bill Haley and the Comets. And Danny Aiello was one of the hosts with Richard Nader. They came out and started the show. And then here I go kicking off with Bill Haley's Comets. I mean, I played with so many great bands in that show. That was Bo Diddley was on that. The Belmonts were on it. There was like a whole host of groups, man, 20 groups. Duke of Earl was there, and just everybody. So I did that. I did the 5 or 6 years with Dion. And
Wait, do you know a name Danny Kaye?
Not sure. Me.
Huh?
I'm not sure. Danny Kaye.
Oh, you just mentioned. Oh my gosh, I'm losing it too. Who did you just mention?
Danny Aiello.
No, the band. Oh my gosh.
Bill Haley's Comets.
Thank you. Well, he was the youngest drummer. I'm going to be interviewing him soon. He was the youngest drummer for Bill Haley.
Oh, I knew John Bam Bam. He was
Yeah.
a heavy-set guy. He was really, really
So
good.
cool. So continue. This is so cool.
So yeah, so I did all that stuff. I toured again with him, and then it kind of like I just kind of like I get kind of pride, man. I've been touring since high school. I've been on the road. I mean, I only had a few breaks in between, and it was very minimal. Yeah, even after I left Motown, I was with another group in Detroit. We were the #1 group. They were called Great Lakes Express. I left that part out, and I was with them almost 4 years. And we were the #1 band there. People like Grand Funk would come to see us, and Bob Seger. We did
out.
Yep. They'd come to see us because we were the band. We were the #1 band.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Yeah, we had a full horn section, and I was playing bass guitar in that band. And so we wound up doing some concerts with Bob Seger. And Seger took me aside one day, sat down with him and his bass player, Chris Campbell, and he said to me, I really like the way you play bass. He said, you play keyboards? I said, yeah. He said, I need a keyboard player. Would you be interested? And this is the one thing I kicked myself in the butt for. And I said, no, I can't leave this band, because I had about 3 years invested in the group at that time, and we were pretty close to getting a deal. So I turned him down. And then about 8 months later, 10 months later, he hit it real big across the country, and that was it.
Oh, slap.
I know. So, that's like, here's another story. In between all this stuff, I worked with, I have friends in Toronto. I mentioned him earlier, Dave Beatty's a producer in Toronto. And he called me up one day and said, I'm working in a studio with somebody you might be interested in recording with and doing some work with. And I said, who is that? And he goes, well, you may not know him by name. His name is Roy Young, and he was the original keyboard player at the Star Club in Hamburg, who used to do the shows with the Beatles. And he's doing an album. So I said, Absolutely. So I flew to Toronto and I met Roy. Roy was a gentleman. He was from Oxford, I believe, originally. And we hit it off big time. So I wound up writing the title song with him and Dave for the album. It was called Then and Now. It was about him with the Beatles and what he was doing at this point in time in his life. And I did all the horn sections for his whole album and did some other parts on it. And we worked on a whole album, which came out unbelievable. And then he had contacted me and said, we're going to put a new band together called the Star Club Combo.
Okay.
And it's with Griff Griffiths, the sax player from, I guess he was with Wings, and Denny Lane, I think, and Tony Sheridan, some of the people that work with the Beatles and everything. And he wanted me to be in the band with them. So we worked on that for quite a while, trying to get all the people together. And it just took a long time. And I finally had to tell him, I went back and forth flying back to Toronto and from Florida. And I just finally had to say, I can't do it anymore. I'm with Dion. I'm really committed and I can't put the time that you really want into the band. So I guess they did some concerts. And then Roy and I wrote a song called, he said, you know what? George Harrison used to always say to me, he used to have one thing he used to say to me, he used to say, never give up. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty intense, because that I can live by that motto.
Yep, I can.
And he said, so we decided. He said, listen, I want to know if you can go to I think it was to Hamburg to do the 40th anniversary of the Star Club. The Wings are going to play. McCartney's going to be there, and I'd like you to go up. And I couldn't do it. I was touring. I couldn't get away. I really wanted to do it, but I had some other major concerts that I was doing. So he went up, and Wings played the song that him and I wrote, from George Harrison's "Never Give Up," and Wings played it at the 40th anniversary of the Star Club. So that was, that's all part of history. And then I got to be one of the, I served on the Beatles. A Beatles convention as one of the experts of the Beatles. Why, I don't know, but I was with Louise Harrison and Pete Best, and we performed, myself, Roy Young, Joey Mullen from Badfinger, and then we had a couple other players, and we performed for the convention, and I got to meet, oh my God, Walter Shenson, who did The Hard Day's Night and Yellow Submarine.
Oh my gosh.
And Sid Bernstein, who brought the Beatles, he became my really close friend. He brought the Beatles to Shea Stadium in New York. And that started off the Beatles here in this country. So he got to be my good friend. So that's all incredible. So I'm going to jump ahead of time. So I finished up all the tour with Dion.
Well, wait, that's what I want to ask you about. Hold that thought. So when did you completely finish everything with Dion? About what year?
About 2006.
Okay, go ahead.
So, and then I wound up I got a job in South Florida, and I'm playing piano in a top-notch establishment, and they loved it, and it was a great gig for me, and I played like 4 to 7 nights a week. So I got my piano chops really, really, really incredible from playing so much. And then I put my own bands together, and I did. I've been playing a lot of concerts. I did some major concerts here. I did the South Florida International Blues Festival with Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Anthony Gomes, and all the top blues artists. I had an 8-piece band, and like I say, I play every instrument. So I was playing a 25-string triple neck guitar on that.
Wow.
Thing. I'm one of the few people in the world that play. I even have a tattoo on my arm. Probably can't see it.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I mean, I can't see it exactly, but that's cool.
The triple neck guitar.
Yeah,
that's how much
cool.
I loved it. And we got to do that concert, and I had 10,000 people at that. Then I was producing another concert for 8 years here. It was one of the biggest grossing concerts. And I had my own 8-piece band with a full horn section. I was the lead vocalist and guitarist. And that drew record amounts of people in the audience. And so I did that, and I'm trying to think of what else I did. Then, probably going to skip all over the place, but my latest projects, my partner, I joined forces with my partner. My partner is the gentleman who put together and developed Woodstock.
Oh my goodness,
He,
really?
he created the whole Woodstock. That's Artie Kornfeld. He is my partner. He is one of the greatest icons in the history of the world of
That's
music.
right. Hold that thought. Wait, just wait. So I am so jealous right now. Everything you said was incredible, but this really just hit me, all right? Because I always say I was born too late. And I don't care about saying my age. I was born in 61. And I always say that I was born too late because I always laugh and say, I'm an oldies doo-wop Elvis girl, right? A hippie. I would have had the really long hair. I would have had the poodle skirt, the black leather jacket, baby, the blue suede shoes. Okay, honey. So now Woodstock. I am so jealous. That's the one thing I always wished I could have been at. So wait. So let me ask you something. So he in it, because I never got to ever talk to anyone about who created it or how they did it, right? So you must know like some of the questions I have, and then I'll let you continue. So he just one day like woke up with this idea to do something like that.
Well, he wanted to do a show. He wanted to put something together. I'll tell you what he was doing. He is a phenomenon. He is like, he's probably one of the best kept secrets of the people that don't know him in the whole world. He was 23 years old. He was the vice president of Capitol Records at 23.
Wait, for real?
Yes. And he was running Capitol Records. Well, he did that. He did a million things before that even. He had a lot of hits. He wrote Dead Man's Curve. He wrote Pied Piper, I'm the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
John Lennon's first record he
Yes.
ever.
I want an interview with him. Do your thing, baby. All right, but hold that thought.
I
So
can do that.
hold that thought. So you were able to be a hippie. I always wanted to be a hippie because with your long hair and it's purple now, honey, you must have been the coolest hippie ever.
I wore about 8-inch platform shoes.
Oh my
and
gosh.
bell bottoms. I had a giant afro. I was bad.
I
was a
need some
kid.
photos of all that. The big bell bottoms, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I still have a few pair I wear, and I got some platforms too.
I need some pictures. All right, continue. Oh my gosh.
So anyways, he not only did I'm going to brag about him because you don't see too many people in this world like him. Not only that, but he's the one that made Tracy Chapman's record Dry. He brought that. He's the one that made it a hit.
I love her.
That was the hardest thing. He said that was a harder thing to do than Woodstock.
Why?
It was just hard getting that because that wasn't the kind of record that was going to sell. They never thought that an African American girl singing kind of like
Well, it was amazing.
crappy
Okay.
kind of folk with an acoustic
Yeah.
guitar was ever going to hit the radio.
Amazing.
And he fought and killed for it. Now you see they just brought that song back in
That's
the
right.
country.
That's right.
Top. So that was all him. He signed Neil Young to a 12-album, $12 million deal. He's the one that made Neil Young. Oh my God, I could go on and on and on and on. His accomplishments are ridiculous. He ran Roulette Records. He ran Mercury. He took Quincy Jones's place running, I believe it was Roulette. He quit as vice president of Capitol to do Woodstock. Now he was going to do it like in a concert hall or something. And his wife Linda, who was a beautiful, beautiful woman and beautiful spirit, said to him, why don't you do it as a festival outdoors? Do it, big. So they searched and they found that, Jaeger's farm there. And so he put it all together. Him and Mike Lang, he was there, but the majority of the work already put in there. And they had Janis Joplin. They had all that.
Oh, come on. I know.
Everybody. Hendrix. He was friends with Hendrix, and he was friends with Buddy Miles. He was friends with everybody. Richie. There's pictures all over the internet with him and Richie Havens, who I loved. Love Richie. And he did that. He signed the movie deal. He said the director's cut is the best example of that particular event. He said it was absolutely incredible. There's other versions around, but the director's cut is the best one. And him and I have been writing together I've known him about 12, 13 years now. and we've been writing for about 3 years.
Okay.
We have about, and we take it very seriously. We have about 9 or 10 songs. Some of them aren't finished yet, but we did take 2 of them, went in the studio, recorded them. They're absolutely mind-boggling.
Did you send me those by chance?
No, because those aren't even, they're not copyrighted or anything. They haven't been out to any-
Listen, I know you're listening. I know you're going to be watching, okay? I'm talking to you. That's right, Mr. Woodstock. Listen, we got to get this going, honey. I need to interview and we got to get those songs on. Just had to say that. Go ahead.
Yeah, one's called Ghost Town. That's about basically our antithesis of what happened after the COVID, how everything died and LA looked like a ghost town. Nobody was out, the lockdowns and all that junk, and there wasn't even a ghost around. And what a great song. That's all I can say.
Okay.
And I played all the instruments on it and sang everything. And then we did another one called Nasty Habit. And that's a reference like a woman would be to a man. She's my nasty habit, but it's also, like I'm her choice of drugs,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
referring to drugs, but
Oh,
I'm her choice.
right.
She loves me.
Yeah.
So both those songs came out phenomenal. So we're trying to find somebody to back us to finish the album. And so if there's anybody out there listening to the show, we're looking for some backing to finish this album. And we just had one of the greatest engineers, producers in the world, did a mastering on this just so that we could get it around to a few people. That's Shelly Yakis up in Philadelphia. And he's got 1 billion Grammys. He did all the U2 albums. He did Tom Petty. He did Fleetwood Mac. He's done everybody. They're very close. So our concept is we want to get backing so we can go in the studio, him and I, and Shelly is the engineer, producer, with co-producing with the 2 of us, and finish the album. And I think what we would do once that album was released would break the whole dilemma right now of what pop music is. It would redefine it.
Okay.
It really would, because it's got rock elements, it's got some pop in it, it's got high energy, it's got taste, innovation, it's got all the things that are lacking today in music. And based on his history and my history, forget about it. I mean, we've taken from the best. He also was the promoter. He's also the one that made. He got a phone call one day from Sylvester Stallone saying that he liked the voice of this one guy, and could that guy do a song about a tiger? And Artie put it together, and it's called "Eye of the Tiger." That was his little baby, Survivor, which was a monster song.
So I got to interrupt you, and then we are going to play a couple of your songs. So wait.
Okay.
So I got to interview Frank Stallone, and I met him way back in the day because he did some things out in Trenton, and I'm from Robbinsville, New Jersey. And I had to get a fake ID to get into the clubs. That was easy back then, So anyway, I told him I need a hello from his brother because I almost got shot in Russia because of Rocky. I was in Russia in the 80s when it was still communist on a health tour through Lenox Hill Hospital, and we weren't even allowed to talk to Russians, and I didn't know it. But the godfather of Russia's grandson was in our hotel and played chess with me in the lobby. And as we're talking, what do you like? What do you like? I like boxing. I bring up Rocky. He's like, I love Rocky. They didn't let the other one in our country. Okay, I'm like, listen, this is why he beat the Russian. I said, if you give me your address, I'll send you the thing. They came at me. They were listening to our conversation with machine guns. He saved my life. We talked all morning till 6 in the morning. He told me everything, but I deserve a hello from Sylvester Stallone, baby.
Yo, Adrian, I love you.
Wait.
That was right.
I know.
Slime, what are you doing here? I told you to go back in the room, man.
Come on, more. Come on, a little more.
Oh, anyway.
Come on.
Yeah, so, oh man, I could go on. I don't even know where to.
All right, so let's do this. Let's play.
Song,
This is what we're going to do. Because I want to get all 4 in. We're
Okay.
going to play 2 songs back to back,
Okay.
and then we'll talk about the 2 songs, okay?
Before you play them, can I just say this? I play every instrument. I did all the vocals. I wrote it, produced it, engineered it, designed the album covers, and I have 7 CDs around the world.
Wait, on all 4 of these songs?
Yep.
Okay. And then you'll say that again because you said that too fast. All right.
Okay.
All right, so Ruben, we're going to play 2 songs back to back. Okay?
Cool.
This is cool.
in my mind's eye, lifted you up on my so high. What was I doing? Just stoking the coals to drown in the fire of my own love. I'm chilled to the bone and hung out to dry. Tears from the inside so sweet. I gave my heart each and every beat. Reach out to me, babe, and give me a chance to show you what a man does for romance. Yes, and I keep saying to myself, get out while you can, 'cause this deed needs undoing. Just come up with a plan. I have to escape before I do, 'cause I'm drowning in the fire of my own love, yeah. Mississippi Delta like a road jolly roll. Just a suffering man in search of a cure. Won't somebody hear what this man's talking about? Yeah. Keep saying to myself, get out while you can, 'cause this deed needs undoing. Come up with a plan out, oh yeah. Have to escape before I get there, 'cause I'm drowning in the fire of my own love. Yes, I keep saying and saying to myself, go on, get away while you can. Deed needs undoing before you become a crushed man. Get out, brother.
So before you talk about these two songs, Ruben, before you talk about these two songs, let's give a shout out to John Terlizzi, because he was our connection. John, you know how I feel about you. He's my favorite stalker on Facebook, by the way.
Great guy, John.
He's
Thank
great.
you, John.
He's now a part of Hamilton Radio, and I co-host with him for his shows once a month.
Awesome.
So we love you, John. So now, these two songs. You may have heard them a little weird on your end because other people have told me, but they sound perfectly out there. So talk about these two songs.
Well, let's see. They're both off an album I did probably around, I can't remember the year, but it's been a while.
Okay.
Every album I have a different genre. I do like I'll put a blues album out, then I'll do a rock album. I have my first album was a jazz, European jazz, acid jazz is what they call it.
Oh, okay.
It's
It's like acid
kinda-
rock, but acid jazz.
Yeah, kind of acid jazz, kind of hip hoppy beats on some of the songs, and really really cool stuff. That was my first album called Street Souls and Saxophones. As a matter of fact, any of these songs you hear, you can go to my website, www.kingcolton.com, and they're all available on there. Plus, you can see videos. I don't even know how many videos I have on YouTube, but they're also on, a lot of them are on my site.
Okay.
Yeah, these songs are, they were, in the blues vein, and I do love the blues. And like I said, I did that a while ago. It's from, the album's called Even God Gets the Blues. And I know you're a believer, and so am I. I'm a very strong Christian. That's
Me too. Yay!
My whole motivation is God, period. Music is my vehicle and God is my reason.
Yes.
So, yeah, I do a lot of other things too. I don't like bragging about them, but I'm not bragging about them, but I'm sharing them. Like, I work with the homeless for 31 years.
It's beautiful. Share.
And I own a charity called Go the Extra Mile. And that's strictly set up for the homeless. I was the executive director for 2 years of #1 charity in South Florida, which was a soup kitchen. We won the Points of Light Award from Governor's Office in Tallahassee, Florida, as the #1 charity. I was on the board of directors for 10 years and then became the CEO for 2. And I work with Christ Church, the Parkway campus, which is, and I'm a chef there. And I also work with drug addiction. I work with in the detox section of a rehab, and I lecture the clients, and I play music for them on acoustic guitar and sing. But I talk to them and let them know the only reason I was successful in my career is because, I've been where they've been and got away from it, broke away from it, broke the bonds, broke the chains, slayed the demons, and moved on. And I tell them if they want to be successful, you can live a dream or create the nightmare. And they listen intently, and I've been doing that for years. I also did some lectures in the jail, which was probably one of the toughest and most incredibly rewarding. The last time I did, they had 90 inmates there, and they were so taken by my performance. I just played acoustic guitar and sang, but I talked to them, and every single one of those people in that room, all the guys had their hands up to ask me questions, like, hey, don't you live by sex, drugs, and rock and roll? I go, no, just the last one, rock and roll. I said, the rest of that is just all garbage. And I tell them why I made it to why I was successful. I just got voted 12 times #1 singer-songwriter in South Florida by ReverbNation.com. And I've done about 7 movies. I did a movie with Johnny Depp.
Oh, wow. Cool.
It's called Rockin' a Hard Place, Another Night at the Agora. And I've done a bunch. I just did another movie called Bad Actress, and that's really good. That's with the Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees. His son Michael was in that movie, and so it's a fantasy world. It's a wonderful life, But I put God first, and I put my music second because that's a gift He gave me. And
Okay, hold that thought.
Yeah.
You just said, I always read a poem during my shows.
Okay.
I have to read this one now because you just said it was a gift from God.
Okay. Love it.
Okay. So this poem I always read when I do entertainers because people always message me how they wish they could be like, sing like you, dance like this person, write like me, right? And I want everyone out there to know that everyone has a gift from God.
Absolutely.
And that's what this poem is about. Okay? It's called Utilizing Gifts and Talents. Okay?
Cool.
We are born with talents, we are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint, to also write poetry, and to talk without restraint. Our gifts and talents should all be used, God's gift to us, not be abused. We can go far in life for sure, using our gifts to go on tour like this guy has done forever, okay? All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, but then our job's to share them to even up the score. You see, in life, what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, not just for the money, but to spread a peaceful sound. Don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Our gifts are not to be held back for us to self-destroy. Put your efforts forth. Do not hesitate. All your talents, my friend, are never second rate. Never hold them back, or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share, our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened, and then you can roar. Be proud of who you are. Be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, your name, Jamie King Colton, baby, will live forever, forever and a day. So go through life excited for what you sure can give. To yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quite lonely, but our legacy lives on. So make sure people smile with the breaking dawn. And that is what you are doing.
Awesome.
You are making so many people smile.
Oh,
And
thank
And, even what you're doing with the homeless and even what you do, I want you to continue talking a few more minutes about what's happening now in your life. But I just want to just say this to you. Um, Everybody's born with a gift, right? And it's up to us to figure out what that is and then share it like you're doing with the world.
Right.
And once you give it to God, I want to say this for people out there who are maybe struggling with their faith. Once you say to God, here's my hand, He'll never leave you. See, but until you do that, God can't be there. He'll never impose Himself on us. We have free will, and thank God for that, right? But
Right.
He'll never, ever, ever impose Himself. So when people say, how could God make this happen, and how could God allow that to happen? God's not allowing that, okay? When we walk away from God, that's when things happen. And it's just like a parent and a child here on this earth, right?
Mhm.
If you run away from home and your parent doesn't know where you are for a year, because that happens, they can't help you in any situation you're in. So if we walk away from God, He allows it because that's our choice and our free will. So I just want everybody out there to really get that and understand that. And I want to give the mic back to you for a few more minutes, and then we'll play another couple of your songs and say something encouraging to everyone out there.
Well, I say, my philosophy is have an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful for everything that you have. You can breathe, you can see, you can move, you can do whatever you can. Like you just said, we have free will. So make it the choice to go on beyond this world. This is boot camp. This is a training period. You're only here for a very, very, very short time. And it's actually to sharpen the spirit, to get the spirit to the point where it can go on. Because God wants angels. God wants us back where we started. And we have to prove, we have to show, and we have to enlighten our spirits that we possess our souls. We have to brighten them up so that they shine. And the only way to do that is to take out all the sin and all the things that the demons want us to do, all the addictions, all the temptations that are around us constantly. You have to deny them. You have to be strong. You have to fight, and it's a narrow road. It's not easy to walk, but it's so well worth it, because the next hemisphere, the next situation that we're going to move into is going to be perfection, and you have everything against you on this planet, because it's the devil has, unfortunately, evil forces have
Yep.
the domain and control right now. That's why you're seeing all the war. You're seeing drive-by shootings. You're seeing all horrible things. I mean, even relationships, husbands shooting their wives and, killing their kids. I mean, it's rampant everywhere. There's just no consideration for human life anymore. And we've lost our values. The political structure is horrifying.
Yep.
It's made up of lies, and it's just, and it's a fallacy. It's not real. They don't have any scruples anymore. They don't have the morals. They don't have the old school values. They're not implying those. Big businesses right now, it's corporate greed running everything. Prices are ridiculous because they can get away with it. There's nobody controlling that. There's nobody's putting a top on it and saying, hey, you can't do this. You can't raise the rent. You can't raise the price of the house. You can't raise gas and food. You can't do all that stuff. We're not going to stand for it. So there's nobody doing anything about anything. So you have to look at the world as an individual. Your world is what you put around you, and try to put the right things, the good things around you. Acts of kindness, do good for other people, because when you leave, it's like, what did I do? What did I leave?
Yep.
What did I do for other people? Not for myself. It's not about me. It's about thee.
That's right.
And you have to give. You have to give, be a giver, not a taker. Doesn't matter how beautiful you are, because that stuff's going to fade and you're just going to rot away anyway. So that has, and money. I always tell the people when I speak to them, like, because I speak to the homeless, before I served them, and I said, I've never seen a hearse pulling a U-Haul truck. So you can't take anything with you when you pass away. Nothing, anything you strive for, anything you work for all your life is meaningless. And I've been blessed. I played for, my biggest crowd was 100,000 people. When I stood in front of 100,000 people, I wrote a song about it called Face the Pain. And it was, all I could think of was 2 200,000 eyeballs, and in every eyeball there's a mini me in every one of those eyeballs. So there's 200,000 images of myself. I mean, and you talk about admiration and what it produces, the anxiety, and that's why so many artists are so drug induced, because it can't handle that kind of an admiration. It's just
Right.
it's too strong. You get in front of 50,000 people and you think that, I mean, if your legs don't turn to rubber, there's something wrong. And if you're drugged up, you can think you're somewhere else,
I get it.
and get paid for it,
Well, I want to share something with you real quick. So a lot of people complain about what's going on in the world, but they don't want to do anything about it. I do protests. I do everything I can in my power. I protested twice with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in Trenton, New Jersey for our constitutional rights. We won both times, thank God. They're still
Awesome.
trying to change our constitution. I also went with my producer, Ruben here, who's doing the show today, last year to the borders in Yuma, Arizona. We spent 5 days with Border Patrol, the Sheriff Department. And let me tell you something, what we witnessed was life-changing. I've been to all the borders, all the walls in Russia, China. I had machine guns pointed at me there in the 80s. Listen, I'm not going to stop. And, your music. So, all right, I don't want to go off on a tangent. So everybody out there, just understand something. If you want things to change, do something. I don't care if it's this much. Do
Yep.
something to help someone, something, okay? I just had to say that. So,
Awesome.
Jamie, we're going to play your last two songs back to back, and then we'll have you talk about them, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Jamie.
To the point I'm trying to get. Show mercy to your captive, whose passion you provoke. Out here on the battlefield to show that there's no joke. I'm trying to fight this feeling, but it never goes away. I told myself so many lies, I can't believe just what I said. I can perish from the love I feel, now my strength almost regained. My heart disintegrates from this devastating pain. I feel somewhat threatened of bizarre intensity. A prisoner of love is what I am, in a way for you to set me free. I'll be your slave of passion, in seclusion do what you like. Can't resist your dominant boss skill. You're a renegade scout in sight. I surrender to your presence. I surrender to you this night. I called off all defenses in order to make it right. I surrender to your essence. I surrender to you this night. I turned on all defenses. I surrender and give up the fight. This pointless psychodrama has a final curtain call. Take from me the love I have, the honesty says it all. I find myself in the juice of soul, so white flag in my hand. All has been said and done, I watch myself have planned. I'm trying to fight this feeling, but it never goes away. I've told myself so many lies, I can't believe just what I say. I can perish from the love I feel, and that strength I must regain. addiction that's drawing me to you. My strategy is worthless, can't deny the things I do. You disrupted my composure, got me bound to your velvet glove. You're an undercover angel, redemption spontaneous. Surrender to you this night. I'm calling all the faces in order to make it right. I surrender to your essence. I surrender to you this night. I'm told on all the fences. I surrender and give up the fight. I surrender and give up the fight. That you know that she's confident. She doesn't need a weak man. It's a message that she sent. How do I get near you? When will the time be right? Am I the kind of man you dream of? When you dream in the late at night, I got to find the answer. Standing in a mall, start to question my sanity. Just open up the door. You're making me crazy. You're driving me mad. You're the only woman I wish I ever had. You're making me crazy. Cause I need you so bad. Hey. Listen. So need you to believe that she likes to be alone. It's all just part of an act. She wants a family and a home. How can I convince you? I can give you all you need. I'll always be there for you. Between the lines is where you can be. All is fair in love and what they say. All I want is to be by your side. I want you to be on mine. But my love, I just can't hide. You're making me crazy. You're destruction and the waves are crying out, making me crazy, you're driving me mad. You're the only woman I wish I ever had. You're making me crazy, you're driving me mad. Got to make it my woman, 'cause I need the soul bad.
So Jamie, my producer's losing his mind. I can see him through the glass dancing to your song, okay? We have a few minutes left, so what I'm going to do is give you the mic to tell us about these songs, and then I want you to let everyone know your information again.
Okay. These songs are on an album called 12 Shades of Blue. And they're just different blues images of it's really just a capsule. Each one's a capsule of feelings, and they're with the blues entity. And of course, a lot of them are about love, making me crazy. I have a video that's on YouTube of that song, which is outrageous. Those songs have stayed in the top 10 on a lot of sites on the internet. Number one music, for instance, they hit number 2. And like I said, I play all the instruments on that. And those songs were probably recorded about 14 years ago. So my new material, I have about 3 new. Well, I have 2 other albums that I've re-released, but they're not on the internet right now. I haven't posted them yet. And I have about 3 more albums that are recorded. They're in the can right now. So my new material, I think, is so far advanced and so different. Even the 2 albums that I just released, one's a blues album called Vigilante, and the other one is the latest album is called Reach for the Sky. And it's all synthesized, a lot of sounds that nobody's ever heard in their life yet. I used a whole different concept for that album. It's very futuristic. It has some pop in it. It has a little bit of fusion. It has a little bit of funk. It's totally different kind of album. And to me, it's really very advanced. It's kind of very progressive. I would say somebody probably wouldn't release it till about 2030. It's that kind of a thing.
Okay.
And I'm enthused about that one. And the new stuff that I'm writing with Artie, of course, I think is going to be a groundbreaker. I just personally I need some more new breaks, because everything that a lot of people that were in the business when I was touring have either left the business or left the companies that they were with. So I'm looking for some new associates to work with, management, agencies, things like that.
Okay.
Something to move forward with. I have a great band here in South Florida called the Chrome Skulls. We're playing tonight on a big benefit show. And I have monster players, and I'm playing drums in the band and singing right now. But, I have a lot of aspirations, not only with the music, but to help people. If I can do both things, doing a new Christian album would be something that I would definitely like to do.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
All I listen to is Christian radio. That's all I listen to.
Okay.
Zach Williams and people like that, and Tasha Layton, and
Okay.
I love the new stuff. There's a guy named Stephen McFurter, I believe it is McFurter. It's got a song called "Come Jesus Come," which is, if you get a chance to listen to that, it's phenomenal. And
So, James, I don't want to cut you off. We have a few minutes left.
yeah, that's
I
it.
don't want you to forget, but wait, I don't want you to forget. Give all your info again. I don't want to forget to do that.
Okay, I'm on ReverbNation.com. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm in a lot of sites. I have tons of videos on YouTube, and my direct contact is www.kingcolton.com. It's KINGCOLTON.com, and everything basically is there: bio, pictures, I'm also an artist. I do digital art and I do hand painted art, but I have a whole bunch of my artwork on there. And I also have an art page on Facebook called Kings with a S, Kings Art International on Facebook. You just put Facebook and then Kings Art International, you see my artwork. It's phenomenal. It's some of the greatest artists in the country have sanctioned it as great. So
Cool.
that's not by my own, examination, but that's it. It's kingcolton.com. And I want to thank you for having me on the show. I think it's great. And I love where you're coming from. I love
Oh my
your
gosh.
whole
Back
attitude.
at you, baby. Back at you.
You know,
So I went to art school in New York in the Village,
awesome.
School of Visual Arts, and we had to do black and whites to get into the school. It was very different back then than it is now. Nothing's even hands-on. The school's still there. And I did Jethro Tull's album, Aqualung, black and white,
Awesome.
and we had to do a self-portrait, and that's what got me into the school. So I can't wait to check out your artwork.
Yeah, I'm really proud of it. Really proud of it. It's really something. I mean,
Wow.
according to
So
everybody that's seen it. Yeah.
I'm going to do something different because you
Okay.
just brought up Christ again, and you want to do it. You got to do a Christian album. You got to listen. My door's always open. You get that done, we're in again. Okay, please.
Absolutely.
I want to, instead of playing my theme song, producer, and all that, we're going to go out with my Jesus poem. Okay?
Perfect.
Yes. I have to. All right, let me find it because I wasn't prepared. guys. Let's see.
Did you write these poems? Or
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
they're all
love
in
it.
my book. All right, so what I'm going to do is bounce from my Christianity to my Jesus poem back. So it's a lot and I won't read it all, okay? Just some special parts of it.
Okay.
So many religions have surfaced today. Most of us wonder which one's the right way.
Yeah.
Being brought up Catholic, I wasn't a fan. I always struggled with listening to man. I wasn't buying the crap that they said. My salvation's in Jesus through his blood he shed. Not sacraments and giving cash, confessional boots and Wednesday's ash. These rules they speak of are all man-made. If you open the Bible, man's words will fade. You won't find them in there because God said it clear. You won't work your way into heaven, my dear. With Jesus nailed upon that cross before his last breath he took, his words were spoken for us to hear. It is finished, and left us his book. I tell you the truth, there's only one God. When you take your last breath, he'll greet you and nod. I hope you are ready to meet him that day. Want to hear him say, well done, instead of casting you away. My works are just worthless. I'd end up in hell. That's why he sent Jesus. Now in heaven I dwell. I'm not ashamed to proclaim his name. I'm not ashamed. It's God I claim. The world says God's a myth. The world says God is fake. God says I'm really here. God says I'm no mistake. God says, listen, I'm here for you. Just come to me. I'll make you new. Religion is false as can be. Was made by man and not by he. Religion still has God nailed to that cross, making you think the church is your boss. When Jesus said it is finished, they took him off that cross. He rose from the dead so your soul wasn't lost. He no longer dangles on the cross from that day. He's free from that cross. Jesus now made the way. We wear a cross because we're his kid, to be reminded what this man did. The crucifix should not be worn. Religion keeps God on the cross and scorn. Man made rules to cost a fee, but the price of Jesus to you is free. Come as you are and don't pretend. He knows all things beginning to end. I couldn't believe. Growing up Catholic made me hate church. Priests hurting boys now made me search. I couldn't believe God was in there. God said, to me church was evil and filled with despair. Then I found God, the real one I mean, not statues on crosses, but the God I have seen. I cried out one night, whoever's out there, please show me the truth. Does anyone care? It was then that I heard him as clear as can be. I'm here and I care. I made you for me. You are not alone. I will lead the way. I'll never leave you. Your price I did pay. I'll protect you and guide you as long as you want. Tell me your sorrows. I'm your confidant. I'm your heavenly father. You're my earthly kid. There was a price on you with the highest bid. It was then that I marked you and said you were mine. I knew at that moment you were made to shine. I'll never put rules on the way you should live. I gave you free will. From my life I did give. You have the choice is yours. There are two choices behind the doors. One choice is distant, it will bring pain. One choice is closer, and it will bring gain. The cross I was nailed to for you. Not in religious name, it was you that I knew. Ask him to take over, because you are way too weak. I promise you strength he'll give you, if only Jesus you seek. Father God, I do thank you for sending your son to shed his blood for me. Then he said it was done. He said it is finished. Now listen to me. He never said religion would now set you free. It is finished were his last words. His flocks will now be saved, marching in herds. It is finished, I know he said. Now you can leave and not be dead. Ask Jesus to free you of bondage Satan holds. Ask Jesus to stand guard as the Bible now unfolds. All that was written is being played out. Will you be ready or will you have doubt? Will you be ready the day he returns or left behind to feel the burns? My prayer is this, that you take heed to know the reason Jesus did bleed. The time is near, it really is. Will you be ready to say you're his? I hope everybody can really listen to that, right? And really take heed, right, Jamie?
I should be interviewing you as the poet extreme here. That was phenomenal.
Thank you. There's so much more to it. It was way too long to read. But
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you to everybody listening. Please, please share this show. This show is amazing. This guy right here is off the charts. I did not know all this, guys. So I didn't know how. Listen, my heart is like, you own a piece of my heart now, Jamie. Okay? So I didn't know God was
Goes
going
both
to
ways.
be really brought
Both
into
ways.
this. Yes. Amazing, amazing. God bless you for everything that you're doing. And yes, we need your Christian album.
Thank
So-
you. God bless you, and thank you so much.
I want to say thank
You're
you. for
amazing.
honoring
You're
me.
amazing.
You're amazing. And thank you for
You are.
honoring me. God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you, guys.
Got it.